Hey all, Ibrix guy here, and I wanted to post a follow-up review for the Osmo Pocket after using it for several weeks, and I wanted to share my unfiltered opinions and the good, the bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, a little bit of everything. So, again, first of all, I really I've enjoyed the case that came with it. I like how it has a wrist strap that can be optionally attached. I mean, you don't have to attach it, but if you choose to do so, it's pretty cool. So I've really enjoyed that. And then also the just the small size and the small weight of the Osmo Pocket. I mean, it's easy to pack along with other gear. It's not too heavy, it's not too big. Mine are, and it's not a complaint for me, but for some people, they're like, man, you can't change the battery in the Osmo Pocket. Well, for me, that's not an issue because I just carry a USB battery bank, and you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find several types of battery banks that I use. And the cool thing about a USB battery bank is that you can also top it off in the field with solar panels. So it's kind of a cool way to keep your, not just your Osmo Pocket, but your other USB rechargeable devices topped off. So for me, the inability to change the battery is not an issue. I actually kind of like that because obviously for my use case, the Osmo Pocket is not my primary camera. My primary camera is a Sony Alpha. But when I'm filming B-roll, I found the battery in here provides more than enough battery life to film, and then when I'm not filming with it, just throw it in my pack or put it down on the ground or whatever and plug it into a USB battery bank, have it topped off. That way when I grab for this again and maybe I'm going to film an extended duration clip, I've got more than enough battery life to do so. So again, that's a non-issue for me. I really like the screen. Even though it's a very small screen, I found it to be very easy to see what's going on. I mean, sure, it's very small, but for the purposes of knowing, hey, what's in the camera's field of view, when you're doing selfie mode, is your face in the camera's field of view, it's a quick way to confirm that. But probably what you'll find after using this will just feel natural, so you won't even feel like you got to look down at the screen because you'll get a feel for where it's pointing. The ability to triple tap and flip from filming forward to selfie mode, filming your face, that's super nice. For vloggers, video bloggers, people that are walking and talking and stuff, being able to flip to face on video and then the environment around them with triple tap, that's super convenient. Very simple interface here. I mean, you got a record button beside it, and if you optionally choose to do so, stick in your USB-C style connector or your lightning style Apple iPhone or Apple iPad connector and connect it to your device and use the app in conjunction with it. But for me, really the only time I fired up the apps when I'm doing a firmware update, and that's another thing. Installing firmware updates on this thing is super intuitive. All I had to do is plug it in, power it on, launch my app on my iPhone, and boom, it said, hey, new firmware, it started installing it. Super simple. I mean, totally idiot-proof in my opinion. One thing that's really made this a lot better, and I didn't have these as soon as I got the Osmo Pocket because they weren't available at that time, but the mount. So this right here is accessory mount for the Osmo Pocket. Check out my other videos where I demonstrate using this, but it's really cool. And what's really cool about it is that connector on the bottom probably looks very familiar. That's right. I've been able to attach it to a ton of existing GoPro mounts. I've been using GoPro since GoPro HERO2, so I've accumulated a lot of GoPro mounts over the years. So being able to repurpose a lot of those for this brand new gimbal-stabilized action camera is super cool. And the other thing I picked up is, let's see, get it in my pocket here. It's freezing cold out here. I'm in Appalachia. It's literally freezing cold. There's icicles breaking off of this rock ledge alongside me. But this control wheel right here is very nice tactile feel, and you can tilt down or tilt up, really give your videos a really cool and more engaging look. So that's I found that to be a really cool accessory. And again, you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order all of these accessories and the Osmo Pocket. I've got a ton of Osmo Pocket field test videos, got a lot more coming soon. I mean, obviously, Osmo, DJI Osmo line of cameras have been around for a while, but Osmo Pocket is the first of breed from this perspective that it's all self-contained. Some of the original Osmos were, but they were too big. I mean, they weren't too heavy and too big, but they were less than convenient to travel with along with other gear. And the small travel size and small travel weight of this is one of the things that makes it so great. Not to mention it'll do 4K 60, which is super nice. And when you're not using it, the nice thing is this little case is, you just pop it in. And what I always do, I just look to see where the USB port is on the camera, and that's how I know which way to put it in. And you can see there, now I can charge it. So I can throw this in my pack. I can stick a USB-C cable into it, the other end of my USB battery bank, and this thing can charge while I'm hiking or doing whatever. And you know, it's just super super convenient. I mean, this thing, when you're not using it, maybe you're going to use it quite frequently, but between shoots, just keep it on your wrist. You know, that's convenient. I like the case, and again, I mentioned within a previous video, this feels, if you've got an Apple Watch, I'm actually wearing my Apple Watch right now, this little clasp on the Apple Watch is scarily familiar with this, see? So that's kind of neat. Again, DJI, they seem to be, a lot of people have said this before, that DJI is kind of the Apple of drones, and this is just another example of that right there. So yeah, it's just a really really clean design, and I really look forward to see what all is going to come out. I'm super stoked. At the time of filming this video, I don't have the waterproof housing, but when I get the waterproof housing, that's going to open up an entirely new realm of opportunities. I mean, going snorkeling with it, taking it out in the rain, you know, situations where obviously in this state right here without a waterproof case, it's not waterproof, it's not ruggedized. But once it's in a waterproof case, that's going to bring an entirely new experience to the Osmo Pocket. So I'm super impressed so far. As far as complaints, and this is not, you know, this, I'll call it a complaint, but it's one of those things when you're using this, because I don't have the waterproof case for it yet, you've always got to be aware that, you know, this is a pretty fragile device. You've got a mechanical gimbal on top, so if I fall while I'm walking, that's probably going to break. I had a near miss already when I was hiking, and fortunately I didn't fall on it. I fell on my hand and cut my hand up, so that was cool, but I didn't hurt the Osmo Pocket. You know, so from that perspective, that's something to be aware of. I mean, you know, this is not, when you're dealing with a GoPro, unless you add the optional Karma grip, GoPro is not gimbal stabilized, it's software stabilized. So the software stabilization on this thing is so much better than a GoPro from my experience. But again, the trade-off is that you've got a mechanical gimbal on the tip that's probably more susceptible to damage. So, you know, there's pros and cons to every type of action camera type thing. But with that being said, I'm always careful with my gear, but accidents happen. I mean, they could happen anything. This Sony Alpha that I'm filming this video with could fall over right now in the wind because it's pretty windy. And I mean, you just gotta know your gear and take care of it, and be aware that, you know, when you're out with your gear, that you've got your gear with you, whether it's a high-end interchangeable lens camera or something such as Osmo Pocket. So, you know, that's one thing to consider, is that, you know, it could be more easily damaged than a GoPro, but the trade-off is that you just get such smoother video from my observations. And again, with the waterproof housing and a lot of other cool accessories that we haven't seen yet, keep in mind this is first of its kind. GoPros have been around for a long time, so this is the first of its kind. So hopefully we'll start to see a ton of stuff hit the market. Again, that accessory mount that I've got in my pocket, you know, being able to attach to a lot of I haven't tried it with all of my GoPro mounts, but to be able to attach it to GoPro mounts, that's huge. I mean, that's a huge convenience there. So anyway, I'm very happy with it, and if you haven't picked up an Osmo Pocket for yourself yet, again, expand this video's description and then click the link there. You can find where to order the Osmo Pocket, all the accessories, my field test videos, and a whole lot more. But it is getting super cold, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so, and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. And thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRick Sky here. Thanks again for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. If you're looking for iRick Sky's Adventure Channel merch, like this t-shirt and a lot of other cool stuff, expand this video's description. You can find it all there. Y'all have a good day.